Hello, this is the first video in our series on document template management in Cobblestone Contract Insight. In this video, we're going to be giving an introduction to what document templates are, and then walking through an end user demonstration of how they're used in the system from a day-to-day perspective. So first thing first, let's talk about what a document template is. So first, this is basically Cobblestone's document authoring tool, and it's used to draft contracts, agreements, and other files from templates. So looking at the screen here, we have an example of a consulting agreement template. So my static text is everything I have here in white in this case, and my yellow text are basically my placeholders. These are variables. What will happen is this is going to be configured in my system. It's in my system right now. I've uploaded this a while ago. And whenever I need a new consulting agreement, all I have to do is run the template. It will take the information from the respective record that I'm working with, maybe filter in a few conditions, and then populate everything I have here in yellow, including the type name of that respective contract, that contract's effective date, the counterparty name, the address information, so on and so forth. We can even set up some conditional aspects of the template merging process. We'll see this demonstrated in a minute, but I can set conditions to certain aspects of the template. So when those conditions are met, it will use that section, that clause, that section, the subtable, whatever it happens to be. If the condition's not met, it simply won't merge in that data. So basically, this does a lot of the contract drafting process for you. It automates it. Instead of having to jump into Microsoft Word to type in all of this information or copy paste it, decide when you need this clause or that clause, you could simply automate that process. It, at minimum, creates that first draft of the contract that your team can go in and then review and approve. And these are pretty accessible to build in the system yourselves and certainly accessible to manage over time. So now let's jump into the system. For example's sake, I'd like to start by adding a new contract. I could have just jumped over to an existing contract and merged a template from there. But I'd like to add a new contract because I like you to see where the data is coming from. So a lot of the data that I'm typing in here is going to be used in the template. It's going to be merged into those placeholders. And or these fields I'm filling out will be used in the conditions to determine if some of those conditional components of the template will be used or not. Right. So again, I'm filling this up because I like you to see where the data is coming from. Let's click Save, and let's add this contract to the system. Now that we've added our contract, let's jump over to Attachments and Templates. I want to scroll down on this Files and Attachments table and first acknowledge that the system did automatically merge some templates and create these new files for me. You can see they say Consultant Agreement and Mutual NDA template, but auto-attached from Workflow. This is leveraging our document template tool. We have a feature in Cobblestone called document authoring templates. And it basically integrates sort of workflow and document templates together. Whenever you initiate or close a certain workflow step, it can merge a template and attach it automatically, which is what I have done here. We'll cover this in more depth in a later video in Unit 3 about workflow, so check that out. But in this video here, we're mostly going to focus on the manual clicks that you'll take to merge a document from a template. So to do that, we're going to scroll down just a little bit further, move down to this Merged Document Templates table, and then click Merge Standard Template. From there, you could choose the template you want from the drop-down list. This drop-down list can be filtered if you'd like. So when you configure each template, you could set conditions to the template to determine when it will appear. I don't do a great job of filtering mine in my system, but if you only have a few templates, you probably don't need to worry about it too much. If you have quite a few templates, it could be really nice to set conditions to them so they're only suggested when you need them. So in this case, I could set it up where if I'm working with a consulting agreement, I only have my consulting agreement template in my drop-down list. I didn't really quite set it up like that, but you could. Then I'll click Save and Continue. And I know it doesn't look like too much here, but it did create the documents for me. The one I want to focus on here is this consulting agreement template. It did create the document. It lands me on the Document Process Manager setup page. This page is primarily used if you want to edit the document from here, download it, and make some adjustments to it before you attach that first version. You could also use this page to kick off e-approval and e-signature processes. Most folks, however, just come to this drop down right here and then click Auto Attach, which will attach this file to the Files and Attachments table on the primary record. And then usually I would just jump back by clicking Return to Record. If you do want to access the actual file here, though, you can just click this, or you can click this file. If you don't want to access the actual file itself, though, you can click this caret icon, and you'll see that file there and any other versions of that document. And if you want to access other settings, you can click this caret icon, right? Manage file info or upload new version, so on and so forth, or this caret icon to edit this specific file. Okay, we're not going to dive into all of those details today. We're really just covering the essential day-to-day functions. So now let's just go back and click Return to Record. Now over in Attachments and Templates, we'll see our new file uploaded right there. And I am going to open this up in Microsoft Word. And you'll see the new file that we just created in real time compared to the template that I showed when I started this video. So on the left-hand side, I have the file that we just created. And on the right-hand side, I have the template that it has created from. Again, I had the template in my system already. I built it a long time ago. And you can tell that it merged in the type name right here. It merged in the effective date right there, the counterparty name, and then their associated address. I also have two conditional sections that may merge in if the conditions are met. And you can tell the condition for reimbursement of expenses was met. In this case, the condition was the amount being over $10,000. So that was met. So great. And this was not a renewable contract. So the renewable contract clause was not pulled in. Okay. So this is what document templates look like when they are used. This is a really, really nice tool to automate a lot of that contract and agreement authoring, house all of your templates in the system, and save yourself a lot of time and effort. In the next two videos, we're going to jump into the configuration and management of document templates in Cobblestone Contract Insight. Thank you.